Hey guys, Addict Cyclist here with a update to Factor and Factor sizing. So if you purchase a Factor Ostro or a VAM or a One, you probably already know what you're looking for. You already know what size that you are potentially going to be in relative to the current bikes that you ride. You know, this level bike, typically we'll find a rider that has had some experience with frames or high-end frames and have either raced or toured and has been in the game for a while. So again, not always the case, but that's probably my guesstimate here. So one of the things that I wanted to touch on is, because Factor has basically a custom bike build all-in shop. And what I mean by that is, yeah, you can grab the components anywhere, right? And the frame from Factor and the handlebars and the seat post. But, Factor obviously is allowing you to basically build a complete bike from scratch. Again, to touch on some of the specifics, wheel depth, tire type, tire width, cassette size, chainring size, crank arm length, seat post setback, handlebar width, stem length, and it's just really nice experience, and I've had such a great customer service experience working with Factor. So one of the things that I made a mistake on was when I had sent in the information to Factor to kind of compare my Cannondale System 6, just to confirm that, obviously the size 54 will bore for me as well. I ride a size 54 in Cannondale, that the dimensions and the fit was going to be pretty similar. Obviously, always some additional tweaking that's needed with a bike with a slightly different geometry, but overall, everything seemed to be obviously within range. So I made a mistake. I thought I had a 0 setback seat post on my System 6. Turns out it's a 15 millimeter setback. And, when I ordered the Ostro, I ended up ordering a 0 offset seat post. And you can see here that I'm still about 1/4 of an inch from being within range of my current fit on my System 6. So this saddle is basically as far back as it can go in its rails, and I still needed to come back about 1/4 of an inch more. So I did reach out to Factor. They did give me a seat post at a discount, obviously, since I just purchased this, and that should probably get me in range. But what I also found was, Factor had sent an email to obviously everyone that has purchased a new bike from them, and they basically came out with a size guide. So again, it's just all just estimating, but if you had a bike fit, or if you had yourself a traditional fit where they kind of measure your arm length, your torso, your inseam, shoulder width, your sit bone width, kind of comparing it to like a specialized BG fit. I know Giant has one, a Trek has one, Retool has one. So basically you can take some of that data and put it into the Factor website information, so again, the model of the bike that you want to purchase, you would list your height in centimeters, your torso height centimeters, your inseam, your shoulder width, your left shoulder height, your right shoulder height, your left hand height, your right hand height, your current bike make and model, so they can kind of do a size comparison. Because what I sent in my Cannondale, I sent them a comparison that I did on Geometry Geeks. And then obviously your current bike stem length and bar width, and then how many spacers you have under the current stem, right? Because, the stack heights, sometimes they're different. They're a little bit different, and also the head tube lengths. So they want to kind of measure, like, what are you actually riding? Because most of the time, when you're on like a Geometry Geeks website, they're just kind of considering that you have it slammed. So then you have to kind of confirm, well, how many spacers do I have? Is there, a base spacer that's required? Because sometimes, depending upon the types of bikes with these new integrated headsets and bars, you have to run at least a bare minimum to have everything kind of work smooth. So I know that the Factor site even asks for your, obviously your current saddle height, and to the tip of the saddle to the center of the BB, so top of the saddle to the center of the BB, and shoe size. And I'm assuming that has something to do with potential cleat position, or how fore and aft you are potentially over the bottom bracket area. So again, these are just tools or reference points to kind of help you make an educated decision about the size that you should be purchasing. Obviously the best way to do this is to get a proper bike fit, not just a fitting on a bike where you'd go in and they take some basic measurements, your knee angles and, and saddle height. But I mean like a true fit where they measure, basically yourself, understand the biomechanics of your body, any discrepancies, and that kind of all translates into making sure that you're going to fit on the current size. You know, I know Pinarello has a lot of off sizes. They make a 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, you know, so you can really kind of hone in. You know, most traditional brands are typically, you know, 52, 54, 56, 58, 60, 61. So again, you know, this is just a quick little update that Factor does have a sizing tool on their website now, because you are ordering this direct ship, kind of like the same type of concept that you'd find on a Canyon or other direct ship companies, where you obviously just can't go down to a local bike shop and sit on it and get a feel for it. So it's very important when you're spending this kind of money to make sure you got the right fit. So in my case, I got lucky. I am perfect fit. Kept all the spacers underneath the headset, which basically kind of, it's about 10 millimeters higher than my System 6, but I wanted that because I wanted something to be more comfortable, a little bit more upright. This is going to be more of my fast touring bike for, you know, 23, 24 average 50-mile rides, where the System 6 is basically going to be the new crit machine. So I don't mind being a little bit lower on that. But, you know, this my mistake only set me back, you know, $250. So not an expensive mistake. And sometimes it's nice to have 2 step-back seat posts. So if this thing ever goes for sale, you know, whoever buys it's going to kind of have a true custom fit, where they've got basically both available to make sure that they fit on this bike. So kind of just nice to have in the box, just to kind of stick around. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I really appreciate if you can subscribe to the channel if you find any of my content useful. And I really appreciate the support. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I really enjoy dialogue with any of the viewers and any of the subscribers, and kind of keeps it fun, keeps me motivated. And the more information is better. You know, these are expensive bikes, and you don't want to make any mistakes on them. So please feel free to ask. My inseam is 30.5. I'm 5'9". I ride a size 54 with a 100 millimeter stem, 42 centimeter width bars. And I'm going to be running, obviously, now a 25 millimeter setback, so I can get my saddle in the right position. So probably more towards the middle back than slammed as far back as it can go right now, basically on the rails. So, but that's basically it. So again, appreciate the time, appreciate the views, and be well.